Okay, after fighting with a webcam that decided not to work, trying this on the iPhone here. Yeah, we're low tech here. Uh, just really kind of wanted to jump in here. It's been almost a year, and it's probably gonna be a yearly thing with these videos instead of pumping them out like I probably should. But just kind of a real quick sort of little pickup video thing, just real quick. Not really gonna dive into like everything I've gotten over the past couple months here. But I just kind of wanted to, do a little quick thing here, show, finally got that kind of epic score that, a lot of collectors look for. It was actually in a pawn shop back in, not really my hometown, but, where I kind of grew up, so it was a good trip, just for this. And it was actually really cool, actually Earthbound here. I know I'm kind of fighting with light here, but yeah, we got Earthbound here. Actually paid that $4 for that, which was really cool. And aside from that, game actually got a while back. I'm still real kind of pumped about it just because it's my childhood, and it's worth about as much, and that would be Royal Rumble. For the Super Nintendo. Yeah, I know. And you know what? That kind of leads me to my point, though. You see a lot of people nowadays, since collecting has become more and more of a big thing, and that's cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's really cool that so many people are getting into retro gaming and just gaming as a whole. People are finally starting to realize that, just because we have all these new systems out there doesn't mean that's the only thing out there to play. And that's awesome. I love that, But, and maybe it's just me being, a little pessimistic here, but I kind of wonder why everyone gets involved in it, because my point here, is more or less, if we are in this kind of hobby for why we want to be, why everyone is intending to be in it, like just wanting to relive a part of their childhood, or now that we are, like I say, I've mentioned in the past, not on these videos, but just in daily life, that our generation is the generation that kind of grew up 8-bit. We are finally at the age where we are settled down, we have families, we have careers, we have all this, but the main thing on top of that is now we have a little bit of expendable income, and a lot of us got rid of our games back when we were little, or making the transition to adulthood, college, just had a time period where we walked away from games entirely, and now we're kind of at a point in time where we're sitting back and we're like, what, maybe we should get back into it, get the games that we used to have, and that's where it is, and I love the fact that a lot of people are doing that these days, and my thing of it is that I see a lot of people going on and posting Craigslist ads, or ads from like just going to like pawn shops, or just seeing like how much would these games be worth, or this person is offering me this much for these games, is it a good deal, and I mean, on the surface, maybe I read too much into it, but on the surface it doesn't seem like it's that big a deal. You just kind of want to know, you might be getting new into it and you don't want to be ripped off, which at the same time it's really cool. I mean, I understand that, I understand wanting to get a good deal and maybe getting some input on that. I definitely understand that. But at a certain point in time, I almost wonder, how are you really getting involved with this? How are you really, what's your end game with it? Because to me, like I said here, you have Earthbound here. Like I say, Earthbound. And, yeah, you have a lot of people, yeah, it's not rare, but, regardless, if you find someone that knows what they have, you go to a retail store, you're not going to find it for cheap at all, and so therefore people again say it's worth a lot. But you know what, in my opinion, as much as I like Earthbound, as much as it's a good game, as much as I really enjoy playing it, when I was in middle school, I gotta admit, Royal Rumble, this was like it for me. I played this how many hours? I don't know how many hours I threw into this game. And when I started, rebuilding my collection, first on my list, one of my first games was I want Royal Rumble again. It was awesome. You go to a store, you pick it up for like $5. Sometimes less. But really, it's the value to you that is the most important. If you're gonna sit there and you're gonna say, you know what, I have a bunch of games that are worth hundreds upon hundreds of dollars. I mean, it's cool and stuff, but really, you know, isn't it about what it's worth to you more than anything else? Where like from my opinion, like I really want Super Double Dragon. I loved that game. I never had it when I was little, but I rented it how many tons of times. I love that game. I've wanted to find it for a long time. I keep going to stores. I see it for 35, $45. And I sit here. I'm like, on the one hand, I really want to find it real cheap. I want to find it at like a at a store or a garage sale or pawn shop. Whatever that just find it for cheap. But you know what? Honestly, that game it's worth a lot. The asking price, it's just really down to dollars and cents with my own pocketbook too. Because I mean that game, it's worth a lot to me. Because all the memories I had with it, all the time I've spent playing it, I mean that's what it means to me. If you have like a lot that is going for it's like a Nintendo 64 lot, $80, but it has like GoldenEye and maybe it has like No Mercy, a couple games that may not really be that expensive, when you find out in the wild, or that might not, you go on price chart and you're not going to find a gold mine in them. But you know what? If you put in the amount of hours that you personally put into it, to me, it's like it's more about what the personal worth is to you. I would probably pay more money for I would willingly pay 45, $50 for Super Double Dragon. I probably wouldn't pay that for Flintstones Dinosaur Peak. It's not because I want to be this massive cheapskate. I want to be like the Game Chasers. I want to find it for $5 at some store. It's not so much that. It's that I would play the hell out of Super Double Dragon. I'd probably just stare at Surprise at Dinosaur Peak, honestly. No matter what the worth is on eBay, no matter what the worth is, on price chart, no matter what the worth is to word on the street, quite honestly, that game's not worth much to me because I just probably won't play it more than once to say I did, and it's just a deal where I mean, and granted, maybe I am understating it. It's a Flintstones game after all. Maybe I'm just looking at it like it's a property that I really don't care too much about. So, I put it in and it might actually be a good game and, I might be eating my words. But really, the way I look at it is that a game that I've been looking for, that I really, really want, that I put a lot of time in when I was little, that I, am really, really just psyched to have in my possession, that's worth more to me than any number of, Action 52s out there because they're just, it's the internal worth. And my fiance, when I picked up Earthbound, I was so happy about it. It's like, so finally I got my big score. Finally I got it happened. I finally found a really expensive game for very little. And it happened to be a game that I really wanted to play too, and I've really enjoyed playing it. So I mean, it's not like I'm trying to eat my own words or be a little hypocrite here or anything, but I'm just saying that she did a word to me. Like she did a word. She did a word. You can do vocabulary these days. You don't use it. You do it. But she said a phrase to me that kind of stuck with me. Is that she goes, "So are you going to sell it?" And I'm like, "No, I'm going to keep it." And she's like, "So the worth of it is hypothetical then?" And I started thinking about it. I was like, "That's kind of true." I mean, yeah, there's such thing as flipping games. Yeah, that can be cool from time to time. You get a bunch of doubles or something, and you get them for cheap, and then you can turn around and sell them for a little bit more. But at the core of it, isn't the big point of this is to have games for us, So basically, no matter how many valuable games you have, if you don't intend on selling them, does their worth even matter anymore? Their projected or intended worth really matter, Because if you're gonna keep them, it's not like you're gonna, be sitting there trying to, sell them again. So I mean, really, any number of, little Samsons or Earthbounds or whatever have you is worth about the same as a Mario Duck Hunt, because it's going to be in your collection, and yeah, it makes your entire collection as a whole more valuable. And yes, if you get in a pinch, financially, it is nice to have that to fall back on. If you absolutely had to, you could sell off some of your more valuable games to get where you need to be. And that's good. I'm not deriding that point. I'm not sitting there saying that people don't have legit reasons for being very, very meticulous about the inherent worth of each game that you're looking at. There are different points to it. And this is just one of them. My point is basically, I just don't think people should be as intent on the bottom line being, how much is this worth? Is this a great deal? Is this, because like I say, if someone walked up to me and, you walk up to the average person and say, hey, $10, good deal? No. A lot of people would say no, it's $2. It's super common. You can find, piles of this game anywhere, This, I have the box for this, but it's nowhere near complete. I mean, it's got the manual. It doesn't have the insert, I don't even. Yeah, it doesn't even have the. It's just basically an empty box, and it's. So I mean, really, it's worth a couple bucks, but to me, it's worth 10, 20, 30 bucks. It's worth a lot, because I played it a lot when I was little. I play a lot now, and in that, there is a personal worth as well as a listed worth, that I think should be kind of looked at and taken into account as well. I guess that's probably the big point, I mean, yeah, I just started off, kind of dumb, very dumb probably. I just kind of wanted to put my point home that, to sum up, it's personal worth, because if these games are all about, having a showpiece, having, you walk into someone's place and they have, all these super, they have Action 52, they have Samson, they have, whatever, sitting on a shelf, To us as collectors, that's really cool to see, But, you know what? Honestly, it's a few minutes or a few seconds of that, maybe you get to play it a little bit, but